This video is on Chapter 3, Evidence-Based Clinical Practice. When we talk about evidence-based practice, that is a very, very hot topic. It's very up and coming right now, and you will need to know a lot about evidence-based practices. One of the things that you need to remember is that you as a clinician will need to evaluate research studies to determine whether they are strong or weak, whether they support or do not support your intervention. There are lots of different types of evidence. There are, of course, the external evidence, the published research, the things you find in ASHA journals, the things you find in the other journals published by ASHA or by special education, universities, etc. There's also the internal or the client-based, and sometimes we forget about that the client characteristics, what the client is, what they do, what they bring to it, what their preferences are, really does make a difference in those evidence-based practices, as well as internally you as a clinician do. Our clinician preferences, our professional competencies, and our values. All of those are part of evidence-based practice. I think many times we think it has to be in the research. There has to be a research study to support everything that we do or every intervention that we have, and that's not going to be the case. That is not the case, that you will have that information at your fingertips or available to you. So please remember all the pieces of information that come about to provide evidence-based practice. It's very important that you as a clinician can say that evidence-based practice comes from your clinical experience, your work environment, what you have done, your past experiences with clients in the university, in your practicum, in your student teaching, in your medical placement, wherever it may be, that is building evidence-based practice in terms of that. The other thing that I think that we need to mention is documentation of your client's progress, whether they're students, whether they're children, whether they're babies, infant, toddlers, or adults, whatever it may be, your documentation of progress, you showing that your client is making progress, is also evidence-based practice. It is telling you that what you are implementing, your intervention, is making a difference. And so if you have really good documentation, starting with the baseline as to where that client started and continuing that progress, if you can document that progress, show the progress, that is evidence-based practice.